The last part we're going to make is part 5, the wheel. We're going to draw this cross section. I'm going to draw it square first, and then I'm going to add an arc on the end and then apply some fillets here for these round parts. And then we're going to revolve it. So I'm going to draw this cross section. So I'm going to go into Inventor. I'm going to start a 2D sketch. I'm going to click on a plane. The first thing I want to do is, since there's an empty space in the middle, I'm going to need a line to revolve around. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw a line here that's really just to establish that very center part of the wheel, and it's going to be our point of revolution. Okay. From there, I'm going to start drawing the overall shape of the wheel. So I'm going to start drawing down. Going to go ahead and draw that. It's going to come over that. I'm going to go ahead and draw that. Going to come up. Basically right now I'm just laying out kind of the overall look, and I'll go in and apply some dimensions here in a second. Over again. Coming up. Over. And down. Okay. So now I'm going to dimension some things. So from this center point of revolution to this line right here should be 0.25. Okay. From the center point of revolution to this point right here should be 0.75. And then from the center point of revolution all the way to the back part of the wheel should be 1. Okay. Then in terms of heights, this is 0.125. And then from here to here is also 0.125. Okay. So at this point I've got everything that needs to be dimensioned. Now I'm going to go ahead and add that arc on the back. So I'm going to come up and click arc. And I'm going to go from here to here. And then come out with the arc, and since it's in the right spot, I think I can go ahead and just type in the 0.125 and hit enter, and it's going to be in the right spot. Okay. Now I'm going to apply the fillets to round off some of those corners. So I'm going to click fillet. Okay. The fillets they said they're using are 0.0625, so I'm going to go 0.0625. And I'm going to fillet between this line and this line, so I'm just going to click both lines, and it's going to put a nice round right there. I'm also going to fillet between these two lines right there, and I'm also going to fillet this last edge right there. Okay, so all I did was apply fillets of 0.0625 to this edge, this one, and this one to make them smooth. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and finish my sketch, and then I'm going to do a revolve. So I'm revolving this profile I did. Now I have to click this profile as well as that half circle up there. And my axis of revolution is this one right here. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Now if I rotate around and look, I have a good looking overall wheel. Okay. So that was the revolution that gave me the overall layout. The next thing I want to do is try to get these trapezoids. I need to be able to cut those out. So if you look, it looks like they're setting up some lines. So they start out with one straight over, then they draw another one that's going to be 15 degrees away, then they draw another one that's 30 degrees away. So I'm going to go ahead and start establishing those lines. So I'm going to do a sketch on this face where I'm going to end up cutting those out. And I'm going to start doing some lines. So I'm going to go a line from the center straight over. That's like my baseline. I'm going to go ahead and escape. Then I'm going to do another line from there up this way. I don't really care how long they are because they're just being used to do some construction. So I'm going to hit tab so that I can change the degree. Because, well, actually I'm going to wait a second. Because it's giving me the degree from my axis to the line, but I really want it to give me the degree between my lines. So I'm going to dimension from this line to this line, and I want that to be 15 degrees. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do another line from there out. Again, I'm going to go ahead and place it, and I'm going to dimension it, and it wanted those lines. Whoops. Don't really care so much about the distance. it wanted those lines to have a 30-degree angle between them. Okay, so those are going to be the two sides of my trapezoid that aren't parallel. To get the other sides, I'm going to do a circle. And it tells me that the bottom circle has a radius of 0.0375 and the top one is 0.625. So I can do that in a couple ways. I can do an arc, or I can just go ahead and do a full circle. I think I'm going to try to just do a full circle. So it says the first one was 0.325, so I think I'm going to do I'm going to go double check. Said this bottom one is, 0.375. So I'm going to do 0.375 times 2. Go ahead and establish that circle, and it looks good because it's going to be that part. And then the other one is 0.625. So I'm going to do another circle, and it's going to be 0.625. Again, times 2 because it was giving me the radius. Alright, so if you look right here, this outline is the shape that I want. So what I'm going to do now is trim away everything I don't need. So I'm going to click Trim. I don't need any of that part of the circle. So I'm going to go ahead and click Trim. Don't need any of that. I'm going to hit Trim. Don't need any of that. Or that. Or that. Or that. Or that. Basically, I just need to cut out this shape right here. So it's looking pretty good for me to be able to do that. Zoom in a little bit so I can trim things a little more nicely. I'm going to go ahead and finish that sketch. Then I'm going to do an extrude, and I want to cut that out. So as long as it's cutting all the way through, we're good. I want to do a cut. That way it disappears. Alright, so that looks good. Now I'm just going to do a circular pattern to finish out the rest of them. So we just need to look how many of them are here. It looks like there's 6 of them. So now that we have it done, we're going to come up here to circular pattern, click that. So I'm going to do a circular pattern. I'm going to click on my cutout there. That's the feature that I want to pattern. Then I'm going to click rotation axis and I'd like it to revolve around that inner circle. And I'm going to choose 6 of them and hit OK. Now I have done all of those. Okay, so I've got those. If I look, this next thing is just a circle. And it even tells you a bunch of stuff about it, right? So we can knock this out pretty quick. So I'm going to do a circle that's 0.25. Then another one that's 0.125, looks like for there. And then it tells you how far they come up. We've definitely got this. And it tells you how far away it is. So I'm going to go ahead and do that first outside circle to establish it. It's 0.025. And then I'm going to dimension from the center of the circle to the center of it is 0.7. So I'm going to do a sketch. On this face. So a sketch here. We're going to do a circle. Circle is 0.25, I believe. Right, 0.25, and it's going to be 0.7 away from the center. So I'm going to dimension from the center to the center of that is 0.7. Ooh. We're going to go with it for now. It's going to be extruded 0.375. So finish, extrude, 0.375. Okay. Then we are doing another circle here that's 0.125 that comes out for 0.125. So another circle here. That's 0.125 that extrudes out for 0.125. Okay. And then it says there's a circle in there that goes in for 0.25. And it looks like that's almost a hole. So I'm going to start a sketch there. with a point, finish, and then do a hole. And it looks like that hole is 0.0625 for 0.25. So it only goes down for a little bit. So it only goes down for 0.25, I think. And it said its diameter is 0.0625. I'm going to double check those numbers. 0.0625 for 0.25. So 0.0625 for 0.25. I'm going to hit OK. And there is my wheel.